Hi guys, how are you? Type A here. And someone in the forum requested for a tutorial on vocal processing and kind of like how to implement a vocal into a remix, or at least try to build a song around a vocal track. And this is kind of tricky to approach because dealing with vocals, it can get complicated in a number of factors, but let's just work on the premise that you've downloaded a vocal from a sample pack, and this vocal is clean, it has no noise, you don't need to denoise it or DS or something like that. But at the same time, you can do further processing, like to add more compression, reverb, delay, stuff like that. And this vocal has a tempo, and the problem with remixing inside Renoise it is that you can there's no real-time algorithm to stretch the sample like Ableton or something like that, and this is a I think this is one of the most requested features in the forum, like to be able to real-time time stretch a sample. And this is going to be evident right now when I played what I got so far to for this. There's a lot of workarounds. Maybe you can use a third-party app to make the tempo you want for the acapella, and then import it into Renoise and work like that. And this is pretty valid. But in the box inside Renoise, I don't think there's a way to make it like really good quality, like for a commercial remix or something like that. Maybe if you're into more underground sound and or you want to experiment, but there's no, for me at least, I don't think there's a direct method that guarantees the quality that maybe you're looking for. So I have this stuff going on. Let me mute the vocal first. I created this loop. I think you can guess which acapella I'm going to use, and this is how it sounds with the vocals.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world. Painful to me, pierce right through me. Can't you understand? Oh, my little girl.
Now this song, like the way that I'm working this track, I think is going to sound a lot better at a faster tempo, like some electro, like 125 or 128 BPM, with the basses like that and the drums. And but I can do that right now, and I don't want to use the rubber band tool to stretch the acapella since I already done it, and it's not a good quality to my taste, I think. And but first, let me tell you how I got to this. The way I started making this, the way I make the acapella started at this point, and it's not complicated, but just want to tell you about my method. And the first thing I did was to load my reference track. This is the original track. Okay, this is the original song. I started like playing at the beginning of the project. I used the auto seek function to add a bunch of patterns, and then I can jump, and it will like it will follow the part of the specific track that matches this pattern. So I kind of like started arranging like first intro, then the other instruments, and then this is the part where the vocals start sounding. So at this point, I muted this track, like it was. I muted this track. I put my acapella like this.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my
Now it already has processing that you can see I'm EQing, adding multi-band compression and delay and reverb. For the reverb, I'm using the same channel with my Floodbird reverb, which is one of the Bosco Mac ensembles. You can get perfectly good results with Renoise built-in effects. I like to use the MP reverb a lot on the Convolver, but it's kind of cool to use the send device, and in the send here just keep it short, so what you get through the same channel is pure reverb, and you can insert another devices in front of the reverb like flangers, chorus, stuff like that, and the reverb is going to sound a bit weird but also cool. I think Akanar made a tutorial about reverb for Renoise, and the video that he made, it features like really cool tricks that you can use to process the vocals. But in order to make a remix inside Renoise, I suggest you guys that you if you're going to start adding effects, or you want to shove a part of the vocals to make like weird, like like modern production techniques, get your vocals inside a group and then use the function of scroll through the sample and select the part that you want to add some different tricks and stuff, and just copy to new instrument, and then add different tracks between the project, and just repeater, remodulator, stuff like that, but leave like a main channel to where the vocal is going to be clean or present, like this song for instance.
words like violence, break the silence.
I kind of like wanted to add a bit of an effect in this other track with a repeater, but it's not working good at the moment, so I just am going to mute it.
Words like violence, break the silence, come crashing into my little world, painful to me.
But if you wanted to add an effects, just you can follow as the song plays back and get the position
Words like
for the like a syllable or the part of the vocal that you want to affect, and then chop it up, use another track, add the effect into the other track. And I think it's going to be better this way to keep an organized project. If you're going to start a bunch of effects, like for instance put the repeater in this track and then automate like the different values to kind of like make the sound you want, pretty much when the project start progressing and you get into more tracks and more complications, stuff to mix, all this automating of effects is going to blur your workflow, and it's going to make things harder. And I know this because I think this is my first attempt to put together some sounds around a vocal inside Renoise, but I already done it in FL Studio or Ableton, and I pretty much can tell that if you don't start working organized in this kind of remixes and stuff like that, especially if you're going to use a lot of stems and you're going to be chopping your audio into different instruments in Renoise, the project can get like blurry and you maybe get lost. But I think pretty much that's it to get a vocal and start making a sound around a vocal. Load your reference track, which is going to be the original song. In the case that in the future Renoise features like real-time timestretching and pitch shifting for samples, is going to be perfect. It's going to be a marvel for Renoise producers to start remixing in a more, commercial or kind of like better level to work. But if you have a third-party app and you can retime, like set a new tempo for the original song and your acapella, do it that way, and then bring the files into Renoise, so you can work on like 125 BPM and whatever tempo you want to work, it is going to be pretty cool. And as for effects in your vocal change, the usual stuff, start messing around with the usual, like reverbs, delays, EQing, of course. And for the EQing, try to identify as quickly as you can the frequencies that are going to collide in your mix. Like for instance, I'm 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 cutting around 100 and something, almost 200 hertz, because I know that the vocal is prominent in the part, and I want the vocal to be more present in the mix than this bass, for instance.
Words like violence break the
Use your use this curve to kind of like look for these clashing frequencies. And I'm not an expert on mix downs or stuff like that, but this is kind of how I work. And like I was saying, organize your vocal, your acapellas, and your glisser or stuff like that, and pretty much start messing around with simple effects like delays and reverbs. Reverb is super important to vocals, and this is one of the things that you're going to constantly start going to be using in your mixes, like trying to look for a perfect reverb for your vocals or your bass compressor or stuff like that. And hopefully we get some real time algorithm for time stretching and Renoise for the next release, hopefully. So this is type A. I hope you like this, and leave your comments. And if you have another request for the next video, I'm trying to do my best to, I don't know, to help you guys. So